Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Embracing Life in Issaquah. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Rebecca Kuno-Scott. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi there, Chris.
We are honing in the holidays. Here they come.
Oh, yeah.
I know this can be a crazy time for people. And I think part of embracing life is also embracing the holidays. So give me some perspective on this. Like when we came up with this topic, what were you thinking? What was important to you?
So my perspective was that I think a lot of my friends as well, and people I know, have a love-hate relationship with the holidays, right?
Yeah.
There's so much anticipation and expectation and magic that we have come to expect with the holidays. And then with that, especially as a mama, and taking on that role, being the one to create that magic, it can get really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so the holidays, from a parent perspective, the holidays are for us too, right?
Yeah.
We want to be there and create magic for our kids. Mm-hmm. And we have to remember to embrace ourselves and take care of us too. And so this has been a struggle area, growth area for me for sure. And so definitely trial by fire. And I've come up with some tips that, believe me, I have to keep reminding myself of, but I think that they hold true and could potentially be helpful tips to everyone out there.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's important because it's never like, well, at least for me, it's not like I always have it figured out. It's like, but I do get perspective every now and then. I'm like, if I could do it different, I'd do it this way. And then it's just sort of like coaching myself through it to stay present to the different perspective than what my default is. So I totally get that. Well, hit me with what's the first sort of tip or perspective that you see for the holidays?
Sure. I think the first kind of mantra, if you will, that I think is really important is to remember to keep it simple. And obviously much easier said than done. Yeah. I don't know about all you out there watching, but I have a blended family situation. And that can get really complicated with, what does Thanksgiving look like? What does Christmas look like? When is the drop off? When is the transition? And it's taken me a while to adjust to that and to remember to just take a deep breath and keep it simple when things start to get complicated. Yeah. And kind of, as much as you can, let go of the details and remember to focus on the people and not the stuff. Yeah. And that's been a huge gift to myself when I'm able to put that in practice, is remembering it doesn't have to be so complicated.
What are some of the simple things that you like where it was complicated and you're like, I need to make this simple, and then you made something more simple? Like, give me some examples of keeping it simple.
Sure. So prior to becoming a blended family, my daughter and I had a bunch of traditions, and it was kind of very outlined and scheduled and regimented. And that brought us comfort and we liked those traditions. And they were good and they brought us joy. And then when we blended and we now had my husband and my stepdaughter, it was, they enjoyed our traditions that we did too, and scheduling became an issue because of my stepdaughter obviously needing to spend time with her mom as well, as it should be. Yep. And so an example of keeping it simple was taking some of those traditions that they kind of admittedly got a little out of hand. There was like always multiple things any week, basically from Thanksgiving through New Year's. There was some sort of festivity every week, if not multiple. And so admittedly it was a little out of hand, other traditions. And so taking a step back and paring it down of what's really important. What do these traditions really bring us joy? And
Oh, that's
Being
good.
able to embrace that and simplify. And it's so easy to go, oh, well, but we've done this for the last 5 years. We got to keep doing it. Well,
Yeah,
not necessarily, right?
it's good.
It's okay to say no. Like, wait, this was great maybe when the kids were 5 or 6, but now that they're 10 and 12, maybe it doesn't quite fit so much, you know? And if it does still fit, then great, keep doing it. But if it doesn't and you're just doing it because you've done it, maybe you reevaluate. And that was hard for me to do because the tradition brought me comfort.
Right.
But it wasn't actually the event that I was going to that really mattered.
Yeah, that's good. That's deep. Oh, I think that's so good because you're unpacking like where what it does for you. Like, what does the tradition do for you? And sometimes you can get the same feeling without necessarily having to have the complication of the tradition. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
If it's about feeling connected to your family, is there another way to create that connection without having to add complication or busyness to the holidays? Yeah. So good. Wow. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Good. What else? Give me some more things that we can hone in the holidays.
You know, decorating is another one that's really big in my house and has been for a long time. And admittedly, the exterior of our house has definitely been a Harvey Griswold kind of like exterior.
I was going to ask, like,
that is us.
Yeah,
that is us.
Nice. That's hilarious.
Now that's an example of a tradition that is important to not only me and my husband, but it's very important to our girls, more so my daughter than my stepdaughter. And that's okay. And my girls have gotten to an age where they are, it's an important enough tradition to them that they are actively participating in helping with the setup and the takedown, right? And so that's huge because that they've got buy-in now. And so because they have buy-in, we're actually in some ways creating family moments by being out there together doing it, right? So that's an example of a decorating tradition that we're not really ready to let go of, and that's okay. But for other families, well, there's a lot of resources out there where you can hire the exterior light display out, you know, and because maybe you still enjoy having the lights, but you really don't want to deal with the headache of that, right?
Yeah, big time.
Inside, we used to have a tradition, and it used to be a big deal to us to go to the tree farm and get a tree. And then a couple of years back, we decided, okay, do we go the artificial route or not? And we decided to give it a try. Yeah. And again, this came about because of being a blended family. Before being a blended family, we didn't have multiple schedules to try to deal with. Right. And our weekends are really packed, even when it's not the holidays. So trying to create a special tradition of going out and cutting down the tree when we became a blended family didn't work for us. And we all liked it, but that was an example of that felt more busy than joy. Yep. So we embraced the idea of doing something new and decided to go the artificial route. Life-changing for us, right? Yeah. Like, it's already a pre-lit tree. Yes. Right. It takes 10 minutes to assemble. And what really gave us joy was not so much the cutting down the tree and picking it out as it was putting the decorations on. Well, now we just eliminated 2 huge time sucks out of that for us, right? Yeah. Now, other families, that might not be something that they can give up, but they can give up the exterior light decorating. So you just got to assess what's right for you. That was a change for us that was huge. Yeah. It's as you're talking, it reminds me of like I saw Christmas trees in Costco the other day, and every year it's like
maybe even like Christmas trees in August or something somewhere, not Costco, but somewhere. And people, every year I hear like, oh no, not Christmas stuff already. And so like, you can hear this like angst or this resentment of like holiday stuff showing up too early, too soon. And I have to wonder, like, is it all, I don't really care, but I just wonder if it's not like everybody's, burden that they're bringing, like that they're revisiting before it's even the holidays. They're like, oh no, not that yet. I'm not ready for that. Right.
Well,
And
I think that's a perfect example of, I think we struggle with being present, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why, the title of this episode was Honing in the Holidays. What are the holidays about?
Right.
They're about being present with those whom we love.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Whether it's family, friends, whatever that looks like for you, the holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate, is about having time and being present, not just physically present, but physically, mentally, emotionally present with those whom you love.
Yeah.
And so I think that idea of like, oh no, not it, we don't have time to be present. We're always, as a society, on to the next, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my whole thought here of what I wanted to talk about is like, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Exhale. It's okay to say no to things. It's okay to pare down.
Yeah.
Focus on the people, not the stuff. And
it's good.
Be present. Like the biggest present that you can give to your loved ones is to be present.
Yeah.
And that is one of the hardest things to do in our society right now. So
that's why I love you're doing this show. Because even though this particular episode is about, honing in the holidays, embracing life is what you're talking about. And we can do that, 365 days a year, embracing life. And you can do that in a beautiful community like Issaquah. But I just think like that's it's extra needed during the holidays, because there's all these expectations and traditions and things that we can tend to put on ourselves and forget why we're doing it.
Yep.
Give me one more sort of tip or perspective here for how to hone in the holidays.
My last kind of fail safe is, and I'm not always the best at practicing this, and I find that when I do practice this habit, it's very powerful. And that is when I feel really bogged down, really overwhelmed, take 5 minutes and write out gratitudes. And I got this idea. I'm not by any means the creator of this idea. I found it years ago on an Oprah show, and there was a great book that she talked about. Actually, then I have it at the ready. Nice. You can still order these. It's called the Simple Abundance Journal of Gratitude.
Oh, nice.
So this is my go-to. I like this one, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be, a simple notebook.
Yeah.
But I have found that the act of writing down a gratitude, and there was something, I can't remember the study or the details on it, but there was something about writing down 5 that was very powerful. And the gratitudes can be something as simple as, I am grateful for my soft, comfy bed. I am grateful for my salted caramel macchiato. Like, they don't have to be big things, right? But it literally does something in your brain and helps change your perspective. Wow. So it's very easy to get overwhelmed during the holiday season. And if you find yourself doing that, this is a great last fail safe. It's worked for me. It's tried and true and proven for lots of people. So that's kind of my last
gratitude journal.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. Well, it'd be interesting. Like there's I think for people, there are things we've heard of or we know, we're like, oh yeah, well, gratitude journal. Like I've heard that before, or I've even done that before. Right. But then we get in the busyness of it all and we just don't do it. And so I love that, whether you've heard of it or you haven't, there's an opportunity to just get present and to what you're grateful for, and then to write that down. So
and
good.
What that does, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah.
by doing that, it helps bring you back to being present.
Yeah.
Which is what the holidays are all about.
Yeah. Ah, the holidays. Yes. I actually
embrace them.
embrace them. I know. I think you're so right. There is so much magic possible during the holidays, as long as we go into it with our head on in the right space and our heart in the right space, and we can really embrace it for the magic that it provides. So, especially in the Northwest, I feel like, some places that have just one season, but we kind of get 4 seasons. And so the holiday, I'm always ready for the holidays by the time they get here, but then it's just taking advantage of the magic they provide. So Rebecca, if people want to connect with you, if they want to reach out and say thanks, or they have ideas for the show, or they want to connect with you about real estate stuff, like what's the best place for people to connect with you?
Sure. Check out my Facebook page, Embracing Life in Issaquah, or give me a call or shoot me a text at 425-395-4573.
Awesome. Thanks for a great episode. We'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.